It's 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
And we begin at 5 with a weather alert. We are getting a taste of winter weather this evening with snowflakes falling around the St. Louis area. We want to thank you for joining us. I'm Brent Solomon.
And I'm Ann Allred. We're seeing some snow move through right now and more through the overnight hours. We have team coverage. Meteorologist Tracy Hinson is in our storm tracker, keeping an eye on the roads. First, meteorologist Jim Castillo with the weather first forecast. Jim.
Yeah, I know that all the kids are excited. You know, we have some big flakes flying around the area, and some of the grassy spots have had an inch around Owensville. And then we've also seen some accumulation from Alton through Baldwin and Moscow Mills. In downtown St. Louis, you know, most of the streets seem to be good so far. We're watching that temperature. It's well above freezing in the city, about 35 degrees. Feels like 29 with a little bit of a west-southwest wind. But look at Moscow Mills, that camera. You see a little bit of white on the grassy areas there. So that snow has accumulated a little bit. So 1 inch in Owensville. Alton, we've seen that in the grass, and Baldwin, and then Lambert, we've just had these big flakes and wet roadways, and also seeing some snow around Wentzville. So that temperature, we're going to really watch this evening. Look at these numbers here, east in our eastern counties in Illinois. We're still in the 40s with some rain there, but it's really around the metro. We've seen those big flakes and this bluish and purple colors here. Those are those big flakes that are flying around Spanish Lake, North County, Florissant, and also in Cottleville, and then a little bit right around Waterloo in Illinois. So again, minor accumulations, grassy surfaces, and higher elevated surfaces too. Much more in our forecast, and we have another round to get through, and I'll have more on that coming up in just a bit.
Rain, snow, and wind. Our team in the weather tracker has seen it all day long.
That's right. Weather first meteorologist Tracy Hinson is on the road for us, checking out conditions as we speak. How's it looking there, Tracy?
Brent and Ann, it is pretty good now. Earlier it was coming down, and it was definitely slowing down drivers, even though the roadways have remained pretty clear. Right now we are traveling along 270 northbound. We're just passing like the Edward Jones building here, so by Dorset Road. Road conditions are just a little bit on the wet side. From the headlights, it looks like we might have a little bit of snowflakes, but our windshield sure makes it look like rainfall. Now, bands of snow have been intermittently heavy throughout the day, and I want to show you this particularly heavy band of snow over 44 earlier. These are the kinds of flakes we see when the temperature is right on the verge of freezing and not. The conditions were just right for those snow globe-like large flakes. The conditions were also right for little to no accumulation. Pavement was far too warm for sticking, and even big flakes melted on contact. Some stuck to grasses and trees, but only for a few moments. I asked drivers and passengers to rank today's snow.
Absolutely a 10.
Why?
Even though it's going to melt, it happened.
A 9.5.
Let's get it over with already. So I'll probably say like a 2.
A 4. I hate snow.
A 3.
Why? It's not sticking and it's kind of light still.
Now for drivers, I would say the snow was probably a 10 because it really didn't impact our roadways too much. For kids wanting to play in the snow, I'd give it a 0. Unless I could give it a negative, in which case I'd give it a negative. But from the Storm Tracker, I'm Tracy Hinson, 5 on your side.
Oh, man.
As opposed to a 9.5, like the little boy said. Our Weather First team, by the way, keeping you updated even online. For that info at any time, text the word weather to 314-425-5355.
A man has confessed to killing a woman who was reported missing out of St. Louis. Trenton Ivy is charged with murdering his ex-girlfriend, Markeisha Williams. They were reported missing last week. Ivy was then arrested days later in Wisconsin on unrelated charges. He admitted to killing Williams in St. Louis during a fight and dumping her body somewhere. That's according to detectives. Police have not said if they have found her body yet. St. Louis County Police are leading that investigation.
Police shoot and kill a man who was armed with a gun in St. Francis County. It happened yesterday in the town of Bismarck, west of Farmington. Police got a call for a disturbance on Spruce Street. That's where they found 21-year-old Caleb Douglas Watts armed with a handgun. A Bismarck officer fired his own gun, hitting and killing Watts. No officers were hurt. The Missouri State Highway Patrol now investigating what led to that shooting.
Right now, nurses at SSM Health St. Louis University Hospital are on a 2-day strike. They are demanding better working conditions and improved patient safety.
Now, this is the second time this year that SLU hospital nurses have walked the picket lines. Diamond Palmer joins us in studio with new details for us. Diamond.
That's right, Britton, and SLU nurses say they're striking to call attention to the outsourcing of nurse jobs through travel agencies, low nurse retention, and reporting of incidents which they say compromise nurse safety. Nurses say they've been fighting for a fair contract between the hospital and union since May of this year. The National Nurses Organizing Committee and National Nurses United voted by an overwhelming majority to authorize a strike at the beginning of December. Nurses will carry out the strike for 48 hours, and we're on the picket line today until 5 p.m. and tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sarah DeWilde is on the bargaining committee for the union and says it's angering a contract has not been agreed upon.
The nurses are leaving in droves. They're tired of waiting around for SSM to finally figure things out. At the table, honestly, we've come down to what we literally need. Like, what needs to be in the contract now, that's where we're at. And yet we're still out here saying, hey, can we at least agree on something?
SSM Health released a statement in response saying, in part, calling for yet another work stoppage demonstrates clearly where NNOC's priorities are, and it's not taking care of our nurses or patients. The NNOC's self-serving tactics are wholly counterproductive to our efforts to continue attracting and retaining nurses to our world-class academic medical center. Now, DeWilde says the union and hospital will return to the bargaining table in January.
This 5 on Your Side Cotton Bowl coverage is sponsored by Holland Injury Law.
The Mizzou Tigers are in Texas. I think they got there on Saturday. They have something more to prove as they prepare to face Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl.
That's right. We have 5 on Your Side's Mercedes McKay outside of AT&T Stadium in Arlington, where she spent the day with the team off-field. Fill us in, Mercedes.
Hey, Brett and Ann. Well, as a Missouri Tiger alum, this is just such an exciting time to be a Mizzou fan. Black and gold is slowly starting to trickle in here to Arlington. We've seen a couple of fans, but I know personally that many will be taking the trek down here to Dallas. And you were right, Ann. The team did actually get here a few days ago, back on Saturday. But earlier today, I was able to catch up with them at a local pediatric orthopedic hospital. They took time out of their busy schedules to make several patients smile. The Mizzou football team, travel players, and even coaches filled up every seat this morning as they visited Scottish Rite Children's Hospital in Dallas. Now, it's a tradition the hospital's been doing with the Cotton Bowl for nearly 40 years. Missouri football played games, signed autographs, and families even were able to walk away with some Mizzou swag. Coach Eli Drinkowitz presented a former Scottish Rite patient, Rain Urich, with her own Mizzou jersey and named her their honorary captain for this weekend. Urich and hospital administration talked about how special these few hours are for the patients.
It's been an incredible experience, not only me, but for the kids. I know this means a lot to so many kids, especially when they've been here over Christmas, and they just need a break from everything going on.
They love to have like a whole crew of big brothers come in, play games or eat cookies together.
It was really an exciting day. You could feel the magic in the air, smiles on everyone's faces. Now, that former patient you actually just heard from, she was able to go to Mizzou's practice, which they went to an hour after that visit, and she wants to be a coach one day, so she's definitely learning from the best. And coming up at 6, you do not want to miss my interview with one of the star Mizzou players, and he's even a St. Louis area native. Live in Arlington, Texas, Mercedes McKay, 5 on Your Side.
All right, we're looking forward to that. We'll hear more from Mercedes throughout the week, live from Arlington. And later on, we'll hear from Sports Director Frank Cusimano.